Welcome back on Mode. Today I want to propose you a video about the Warhammer Quest Setbox Cursed City that has finally come back after that has been released like a meteor in April 2021 when has been announced, released, but before it even released on the market completely has been recalled by the game workshop. So about the recalling has been speculated a lot and talked a lot about by different sources, channels and so on, but we don't know for sure what was the reason for the recalling. Anyway, finally it's come back. And I want to remember you that this is a vlog and the most part of the images, because I don't have yet the setbox because SB to be released yet and don't have the previous copy. It's coming from the official site of Game Workshop and from the site Fauxhammer, where I taken some of the images related because I needed and I didn't have the images about, so I used that. Anyway, in the description I leave the links where you can find the referral about. So is it worth such setbooks? I can preview that this one for the undead, in particular about the Soulblight Gravelords, it is, because they are mainly related about the Soulblight Gravelords Batatom that has been released quite lately. But I want to remember you that my analysis about the price that I conduct inside such vlog, such video, anyway, it will be released. Pay attention only to the price when I publish such book. So if there will be a change of price successfully, moreover, if you think that based on the announcement of the Games Workshop, it will be released for only 2 weeks at the base price that it was the last one, but then it will be published free one, so you can find without any problem successfully, it will have an increase of price, and probably that will be also an increase price also of other units that has been sold along the Warhammer site. So paying attention about such, remember that my analysis is based on the price that I have at the moment. Now we go to see a bit better about the content side and some consideration about the methods that you can find inside. Other than the undead models, there are also hero order models available with such setbox, and there are 8 heroes. We have Emeralda Brasco, that we can call her a sort of future Stormcast because it has everything available to be a future Stormcast. We have Jansen Darrock, that it's a vampire hunter that has a mod that it's amazing. I love such models, and I think that I'll keep it as it is because it's amazing. We had Daniai Holdenstock, that for a lot of people could be a way to start an army of Caradon Overlords because it's amazing. We have Kulantis Exile, that sincerely it's the model that let me less impressed about, but it's in a way quite nice. We have Claudio Van Halten third, that could be an interesting vampire alternative if you can, because it can be really quite interesting to personalize and make as an undead one. We have Octren Grimscry, that it's a wizard that could be quite easily treated as a necromancer. We have Keleona Zetengale, that it's a really nice model, but it reminded me as positioning and so on Vokmortian, because for me it's really quite close as I can say image and so on to the Vokmortian or Osterborg Reapers as positioning of the mod itself. Then we have Brutok Corpse Eater, that it's an ogre that can be easily made accompany the Kusaji Night Guards if you are interested about, and sincerely they have not been released, at least for now, but the Games Workshop on their site, at least I've not been able to find them on the site. But if you think that each hero costs 22.50 euros usually by the Games Workshop, and that you have the similar one of the Radukar court that it's inside this set box, and that Radukar court costs 100 euros, I think that these 8 heroes combined can be easily associated to the same price. So I think that you can think about them with such combination of price as worth, because I think that it's quite similar. And about such heroes, you can decide to have different options about them. As I said, you can convert them quite easily in a lot of different ways. So it's a way to have a lot of personalization. You can create dioramas, you can create changing bases, something else, so on, or using like they are. So for this game, because remember it's still a game, this Warhammer Quest Cursed City, or for your armies, for different ones that can be from the cities of Sigmar or other things. So I think that it's really quite interesting in that way, and I'll suggest you to think about such heroes because they can be really a great asset to use as you like. And then we can start talking about the undead, and in particular we start with the Radukar court that we can find on the site of the game workshop, as these models are on 100 euro cost. So we have this Radukar court composed on the Togilus the Chamberlain, Watch Captain Helgrim that I really like as model, Goslav the Gravekeeper, Virkos Bloodborne, Kozarji Nightguard, and the Varsky that you can consider it a sort of Vargulf eventually, or a sort of Strigoi modified, as you want. It's quite interesting. So remember that here we have 4 special named characters with other units, so they are really quite interesting models. So if you're interested, I think that this setbox, it's a way to have a lot of them combined and quite useful, so think eventually about such. And then we have the model of Radukar the Wolf itself, not Radukar the Beast, that it's the upgraded version, but Radukar the Wolf, that it costs on the site of the game shop when I'm creating such video 30 euros, so not a big amount of money for it, so pay attention about such. And then we have some models that has been released first with such Warhammer Quest Cursed City, but then officially released with the Soulblight Gravelords Battletome new one released. And here the first one that you can see it's the Deadwalker zombies that on the site of the game shop we can find them the box of 20 models at 42.50 euros, while this has only 10. So I think that we can about halve the price about such amount of zombies. So I think that we can estimate this cost 21 euros. So sincerely, I have so many zombies that I don't need such ones. But I really appreciate these ones because they recall the one about the corpse cart that has been released quite old as new restyle of the zombie themselves. And so I appreciate them, but sincerely I have too many, so I'm not so quite crazy about such zombies. Still, they are really quite amazing models that I really like to have because they anyway have new zombies to add to my army. And then we have 10 models of Wolfenwatch that are now the official skeletons that are available on the site of the game shop. Also, these ones are available for 20 models at 45 euros, but we have 10 heroes, so we can estimate 22.50 euros for such models. Sincerely, I have too many of skeletons, so I don't need such one, but as skeletons anyway. But I won't use this as graveyards because the actual graveyards are not to my taste. I don't like too much them, so I prefer to use this as graveyards because I appreciate such style. Eventually, you have to remember that are an ad, and you never have enough troops, so even have enough zombies and skeletons available. So take note about these because they are quite amazing style and I really like them. And then we have models that are available only on this set box, and these are, for example, the bat swarms that are available only here, and there are 6 models. About the rules of such ones, I want to remember you that in Age of Sigmar game, the passwords are available only as legends, so you have to think about how you want to play them. And if you go compare these as the price for the swarms generally, we can think them at being 6 of them, being about 40 euros as price. But you can also think about using this as fell bets, and in that way you can modify them eventually or think about other options. But if you are going to use these models of batswarms as fell bets, remember that they cost 3 models 40 euros, so it means that it will cost in 80 euros such 6 patrons, so it's not bad at all. But in that way you double the amount of price that this can be costing. So I'll calculate this as modest only as 40 euros. Still remember that technically you can double the price that it's worth such options, so pay attention about such. And then we have another unit specific of such setbox of Cursed City, and are the corpse rats. About this, we don't have a similar one about the undead, but we have something related about the Scaven that has the rat swarms, and those models cost for 2 of such bases 15 euros. So we have 6 here, so I think that a cost that it's quite accurate, even if a bit, I can say, rounded. It's 40 euros for such models. Even if you don't have an equivalent one for the Soulblight Gravelords, I think still that they can be quite good used as markers or other options for the Soulblight Gravelords. And eventually you can use them for some modifying dioramas or so on. So anyway, they are really quite nice to play with. So I think that they can be really quite a good way to use. So think about conversion or so on, because they can be really useful. And then we have 8 mysterious objectives. We have 2 Yabon strays, 2 gargoyles that could be seen as a sort of mix of naglins and gargoyles, 2 gravestones, 2 crows, and 2 gibbets. And sincerely, here you can utilize them as objectives, decoration, or some other options for dioramas and so on. And this depend on your fantasy about, so not worry. And about the cost about such, I think that could be easily associated about 25 euros about the set, seeing how the Game Shop treat other sets. So I think that the price is about quite correct for such ones. And then we can see the part related about the game, because I want to remember you, Warhammer Quest Cursed City, it's a game itself. So we have a 40-page rulebook, a 56-page questbook, a 16-page Warhammer Age of Sigmar World Scroll booklet, 138 cards that are to play the models in the game, 1 Ulfenhar Imperial Secret Envelope, 180 tokens, counters, and markers, 20 game board tiles, 1 drop zone tile, 1 extraction zone tile, 1 scale vessel board, and 28 dice that are quite interesting because they are different available if you're interested about. And I estimate that the cost of such game can be about 40 euros. Okay, I'm not consider anyway on the price that I sum completely, because I want only to consider the part related about the miniatures, not also about the game. Still, I think that if you're interested about, you could simply add such minimum amount of it to the price of the set box itself if you're interested about. Still, it's an amazing game that if you want to play with some friends, it is worth to try. So pay a bit of attention, because could be a great add to the way that you can play the Age of Sigmar background. So it's quite interesting. And about such setbox, I want to remind you that it will be sold at the original price of the last year for 2 weeks, and it was 155 euros. That it's not a lot. Moreover, if you see that this price could be discounted in a lot of stores, so you can buy at a discounted price such setbox, and it could worth even more. And about the price of what is inside, if we exclude the part about the game, that it's something that you can be interested or not, but value only the part about the miniatures compared with the official price, at least for now, we can see that the price is 378 euros. That it's not bad. Moreover, if you go to play about the Soulblight Gravelords, because you save a lot of money. And eventually you can think about take out of such sum the part about the hero order models, and in that case the price will be 278 euros. So it's anyway a great discount of money compared to the official money that you should pay. And anyway, I want to remember you that these heroes could be added quite easily to your army, to your collection. That could be the Gravelords, Soulblight Gravelords, or could be other armies that you can play with. So I suggest you anyway to try, cause this it's a set box that for sure its value it's worth, because you save a lot of money, you have a lot of interesting options, and the game itself could be interesting. So I suggest you eventually to try the game, because you could have a lot of fun playing it. Anyway, I want to remind you that this is a vlog about the pre-release of the setbox itself. So pay attention, because in the future I bring also the unboxing and other videos related about Cursed City, because I like such setbox, and I lamented a lot when on the web dev there's been the releasing of articles and so on related about Cursed City without having the game available, because it has been recorded from the market by the game shop. So I really like the game. I suggest for sure to the players of the Soulblight Gravelords, because they can save a lot of money having a lot of models related about the Soulblight Gravelords. But sincerely, I'd suggest this game also to the ones that are not playing the Soulblight Gravelords but want to play with such game itself, because in the future we see also expansions about such game, and I think that it will be quite interesting, and it's better to buy it at a lesser price now than later with an increased price. But it's up to you, decide if it's worth or not based on your reflection. I simply made you understand the worth of what is inside, and you can see me if it's you are agreeing or not about my thoughts about. So, from Dino Mode, it's everything. I invite you to put a like on this video, to subscribe to the channel, to ring the bell, and to comment this video if you are interested in something about this video, or you want to suggest me some arguments for other videos. I hope to see you again to the next time.